Once this race is done, I will set up a Grand Prix and then we will start on our book. Very excited to keep this going. Also, design and marketing jobs are simpler than voice acting stuff too. I feel like they can be quicker. Yeah, it's... And I'm not sure what it's like for your market, but mine is like inundated with people. You know, and if you don't have enough tokens to outbid somebody else, then just kissed your job application goodbye. But that's the thing I have a problem with. I don't like the fact that you have to pay to be able to then apply. Like, no one should be applying for a job or paying to apply for a job. Are we all stuck right now? Oh, just kidding. It was weird. It's loaded up. I noticed weekdays are less crazy. Well, for me, it was just as busy because I work from home, so I was always checking it. You don't have to do anything in this game, Stepmom's Mama. All you do is type in !play, and it does the rest. You just do the monthly subscription for 100 plus tokens. And they each pay out. I'll leave like $10 in there too. Yeah, it's just the concept of having to pay to apply. That is a crappy way of, like, the cost shouldn't be on the person applying. The cost should be on the person needing the person to do the work. You know? That's how it works. Mel, hello. Good to see you. We were just doing a little gaming before, trying out a different game for myself, which I don't think I'm going to keep, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, you get it though for sure. I just look at it like I'm submitting a proposal. This is true. This is true. Let's see. Lamps. Autofill. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Eventually it'll be easier with more under my belt. Yeah, it does help. That definitely helps. And I wish you all the success. I just don't think, at least at the moment, that Upwork is my cup of tea. Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting on chapter 33 this evening. Thank you for being here. I hope you are all doing well. No matter what your week ahead is about to be, this is a moment for you to relax, sit back, do whatever you want. But in that process, I will read you a story. This book has been an interesting journey so far, and I've really enjoyed it. And I know a lot of you have as well. I appreciate you being here. Without further ado, let's go. Oh, and I will also start the Grand Prix. All right, 90 seconds on the clock. ! Play to play. Chapter 33, page 265, ! Moon to find out more. I encourage you to do that if you have not already. Bree worked steadily the rest of the afternoon, trying desperately to keep busy and not let her mind stray to Riker. She wasn't quite sure what to make of him. One minute, he was all business, stern and to the point. The next, he was protective, sweet, and seductive. She'd run the gamut of emotions with him. One moment, finding him irresistible and kind. The next, she'd like to beat him over the head with her shoe. Just a shoe? I'm just saying, there's other options. If the man didn't make her crazy, she didn't know who did. She tried to picture her life with him and could easily see it, spending weekends out on the water on his boat, or working together on projects around the house, taking long walks on the beach, or going for a ride on his motorcycle. My number keypad doesn't seem to work very well in this game. It was so clear in her mind that it almost hurt to think of it, to want it. But she did. She wanted it all. The question was, did he? She wasn't sure. Should she even dare to dream about a future with Riker? She thought she was going to have that with Chad. Forever. Poor Chad. But forever was a long time, and their love, if real, couldn't stand the pressure it had been under. She wanted to have a big family. Bree thought she would have her parents around to be wonderful grandparents and nieces and nephews to dote on from her sister and Chad's family. Boisterous, loud, and loving. She had pictured that perfectly too. And now look what she had to show for it. Nothing. No one. Everyone she loved was gone. She had kept her heart tucked in closely this last year, not letting anyone in. Not even Chad. Just when she thought it was safe, she opened her heart to Xyla, and look what had happened to her. The thought made her sick. She had almost lost her. The precious little life. She couldn't wait to have her back. No, she wouldn't dare to dream anymore. She would just be content with Xyla and the house. She couldn't bear to lose anyone else close to her, especially someone like Riker and what he represented. She would fall hard for him if she let him in completely. She couldn't let that happen. She wouldn't take the chance. She couldn't. She had to protect herself and the one she cared for from this psycho. She glanced at her calendar. 4 days until the black moon. Would he come for her? Bree had a thought. What if she just offered up the money? She didn't want it. If that's all it took to make him disappear, he could have it. She'd contact the lawyer and make sure the money went to Garth Jr. She would call as soon as she went through these photos. Something tells me that's not going to be enough, or that he'd even want it. Bree's fingers glided over the laptop, her eyes dancing across the photos she had downloaded earlier, each a potential masterpiece for her website. Starting with the oldest, she scrolled upward, her excitement building. Among them were a few breathtaking shots from Assateague, brimming with untamed beauty. She couldn't wait to dive into them, her mind buzzing with creative possibilities. She also wanted to upload the ones of Riker and Sam and drop them into the folder she had created for bolts and beams. She was scrolling to the end when a couple of Xyla caught her eye. She scrolled up. There were 3. She selected the first tiny icon. Xyla was in her crate, her tiny paws perched upon the metal in anticipation, tongue flopping out, looking happy. She was so sweet, Bree thought. I don't remember taking it. I had a feeling that there was going to be something weird about some of these pictures. She'd taken some of her the day Riker had brought her over. But this one? She looked at the date stamp. This one was taken yesterday? Surprised, Bree clicked to the next one, and her heart dropped. The cage door was open, and Zyla was eating a raw patty off the tip of someone's finger. Sickened, Bree advanced to the last one. Zyla lay flopped on her side, tongue hanging out, and eyes rolled up into her head. Her breath hitched. This was last night. That was the hand of the person who had poisoned Zyla. A new wave of sickening fear washed over her. Oh, I won. That's so great. Next map. Man, I really wish I could do the auto cam on these things. She picked up the phone and dialed Savard's number. Savard here. Detective, it's Bree Thompson. Yes, Bree. I was going to call and check on you and Zyla. How is she? His voice was full of concern. She's doing better, but they're still keeping her for another day just to make sure. I'm glad to hear she's going to be all right. Now, what can I do for you? Bree cleared her throat. I downloaded my photos off my camera today, and there are pictures of Zyla. What kind of pictures? I left my camera here last night while I was out. Whoever poisoned her took pictures of her with my camera. Her voice was shaky as she looked at the computer screen. Zyla's tiny face peered out at her. How many photos? 3? Before, during, and after? Can you send them to me? Yes. He rattled off his email address and Bree jotted it down. She clicked on the 3 photos, attached them to his email, and clicked one more time to send them. They're sent. Good. And the camera, did you touch it? I did. Savard cursed under his breath. I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault. You had no way of knowing. Oh, wait, that's Savard speaking. Just kidding. No, it's not your fault. You had no way of knowing. Just don't touch it anymore. Chances are he had gloves on, or the prints have been wiped away like everything else, but you never know. I'm going to send Kilpatrick over to dust it. She heard him over the mouthpiece and yell, He's on his way. Bree nodded, even though Savard couldn't see her. I'll be here. I'm upstairs in the studio. She heard his email chime through the phone. Here it is. There was silence as she heard him click. His hand is in this one. I wonder if the lab can close in on a print since it's partially visible. Savard commented. She heard him adjust the phone. Is there anything else? Bree shifted in her chair. I will call the lawyer, Hefner, and refuse the money. Let Snyder have it. If he gets what he wants, surely he will stop. Oh, shoot. I didn't. My bad. Thank you for putting exclamation start. Because I didn't see that at all. Missed a step. It may help, or it may not. But if he thinks you're willing to give it up, who knows? He has to know we will still go after him. If he takes the money and leaves me alone, I won't press charges. I'll make sure the lawyer knows that. Bree, we can't just let him off. He's been stalking you for weeks, set fire to your property, vandalized your home, and almost killed your dog. Not to mention he's threatened your life. We can't just let him go. We can, and we will if he promises to stop. Savard cleared his throat. We don't know what this guy's capable of, Bree. I found a couple of drunken disorderlies on his record and an arrest for a bar fight. I'm going back through his previous jobs and collecting all the info I can on him so we know exactly who we're dealing with. And who are we dealing with? Someone a bit odd. Stays to himself, is obsessed with the Black Shadow, and you. And then there's a pause in the story. Looks like Gemma's getting in on the puzzle. You got it, Gemma. So good. We went and took the family went to go see Disney on Ice last night. It's kind of an impromptu decision. We noticed that they were in town the day before, still had some tickets available, so I was like, you know what, let's do it. I've never been to something like this, she hadn't been to something like this, and obviously the kiddo hadn't been. So we were like, we should have been. So we went. And now I can say we've been. Hey, this race looks oddly familiar. So yeah, Disney on Ice. Worth it. Well, I'm being pestered to hand over my laptop, so I watch the VOD later to keep up with the story. Have a great Easter stream. See everyone later. Goodbye, Stepmama's mama. Thank you for being here. And the break in the story is now over, so I will continue. Riker dropped his paintbrush in the empty can, raised his arms over his head, and stretched out his back. I'm out, he said to Sam. How about you? Yep, just finished the last of it. Both men stood back and surveyed the room. Bree had selected a warm stone gray that would set off the white painted cabinets with the dark brown rub through. The room glowed enchantingly with the inviting earth tone. That does sound pretty good, actually. Looks like we're ready for the flooring tomorrow. Sam's phone chimed. He looked down and examined it. Guess the appliances were arriving a little ahead of schedule. Riker lifted a dark eyebrow and reached for his water. Oh? Always on this song. It never continues. And I don't know why. That was so weird. Yeah, they were supposed to arrive tomorrow, but had room on today's truck. They're out for delivery now. The problem is the truck won't get here until late, and I can't wait. I've got a family engagement. B12, winning the race. Angry looping adventure, coming up. I have now started the timer. Because I'm smart like that. Well, that's right. It's Mama Harris's birthday. No worries. I got you covered. You sure? Sam asked Riker, gathering the empty paint cans. Riker scooped up the drop cloth and wadded it into a ball. Not a problem. Anything for Mama Harris. Sam headed out to the truck, followed closely by Riker. Both men had their hands full of equipment. More likely it's just because you want an excuse to stay here with Bree. He hefted the empty cans into the bed, leaned on the truck, and looked at Riker. When are you going to admit you like her? Who? Mama Harris? I love her, Riker said, unloading his armful. No, not my mother, jackass. Bree. I've never seen you like this with anyone. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You can't seem to stay away from her. Every time I turn around, you're here with her. It's my job to be here, working on the house. Yours too. That's not what I meant, and you know it. You've spent the night a couple of times. In the damn guest room. It's not like I'm sleeping with her. Oh, just you and me, Red. That's exactly what I mean. You can't keep your eyes off of her. Yet, you haven't made any move except for that slobbery kiss I walked in on earlier today. Fuck you. I'm an excellent kisser. Slobbery kiss my ass. Riker snagged a roll of paper towels out of the bed and chucked them at Sam's head. Sam ducked. If I didn't know better, I think you were scared. Scared? Scared of what? Of Bree. Of getting hurt. You're usually the one breaking hearts, leaving a trail of crying women in your wake. She's different from any of the women you've ever dated. I think you're terrified of getting too close because you might actually have real feelings for her. Who the hell are you? And why is the music stuff so annoying? Nope, don't play the same song. Sorry, guys. The heck is going on? I'm going to refresh it. It's acting really weird. Oh, that's another thing about acting really weird. I've ordered a new graphics card because I'm pretty sure the one I have right now is going to quit on me soon. One of the display ports doesn't work, and one of them is finicky at best. Like, I'm trying not to touch this monitor over here because I'm worried it might make it go blark. Wow. That's the combination of black and dark. Blark. And I don't want it to do that. All right. Oh, it's too loud. Too loud. Come back down to earth. There we go. I'm back in Roblox hell with my son. Oh, you love it. Regular Blark or extra Blark? Pretty much just regular Blark, I think. Yeah. Anyway, back to the story. Who the hell are you? And what have you done with that asshole Sam Harris I used to call my friend? Riker questioned with disdain. Both men turned as they heard a car approach and recognized Officer Kilpatrick. I wonder what he wants, Riker questioned. I don't know. I want to find out, but I gotta go. Take off. Tell your mom happy birthday for me. I will. And think about what I said. Sam approached the driver's side of the truck and climbed in. He stuck his head back out the window. By the way, I invited Bree to the Shark Shack Friday night, in case you didn't. I decided if you don't make a move on her soon, I will. She'd never go for your sorry ass, Riker called after him. Sam pulled away as Kilpatrick walked up. You guys finished for the day? Yep, just cleaning up. You here to see Bree? No, Kilpatrick just came over here because he was bored. Kilpatrick nodded. She's in the studio. Thanks. Kilpatrick strode off across the yard towards the carriage house. Riker returned to the house and cleaned his paintbrush out in the sink. He gathered a few tools and stacked them in the corner, stalling. He wanted to go up and see if there was something new in the case, but Sam's words kept playing through his mind. He'd be damned if he would admit to Sam, or anyone else for that matter, that somehow Bree had gotten under his skin and into his heart. Wow, look at Red Thorn being a winner. Instead of going to the studio, he walked around the house, assessing the work they had done and had still yet to do. 90 seconds on the clock. Play to play. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Spotting some things to touch up, he went to the truck and grabbed a clipboard to take some notes. He was headed back in when the officer emerged from the garage. Still here? Kilpatrick asked, walking towards his cruiser. Yeah, we have a late delivery of appliances coming. Everything okay? He inquired, tucking the clipboard under his arm. I had some questions and an item to dust for prints. Nothing to worry about. Did you lift one? A couple of good ones, but not sure if they're Breeze or the perps. Find out soon enough. Gotta get back with this. Have a good night. Kilpatrick climbed into the car and drove away. What if it was Kilpatrick this whole time? I'm just kidding. Pretty sure they know what this guy looks like. Although we did find out the photo was aged a bit, like by a year or so, I think. Riker glanced at the carriage house and was about to walk over and find out what was happening when the delivery truck came up the driveway. Guess it'll have to wait. A half hour later, with the truck unloaded, Riker checked off the items on the invoice as they temporarily stored the appliances in the family room. He thanked the driver and went back into the house. Nothing left to do, he went in search of Bree. I got a new keyboard, and this is the first message I've typed on it. Good job. It's so... Those are your choice of words? It's so creamy and quiet. I feel like that guy that does the TikToks where he doesn't talk, he just goes... It sounds really nice. So creamy and quiet. All right. Completely lost my place. Oh yeah, we literally just turned the page. Creamy is the only way I can describe it. Well, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. He found her outside, sitting under the weeping cherry, gazing at the rippling blue water. He eased down next to her in the other Adirondack chair. Beautiful day. Turned into a spectacular evening. She turned her head slightly, and a smile whispered across her face. Yes, it is. I'm imagining a keyboard that keys... just kind of like a splotch sound, but yet nicer. The appliances were delivered. I thought I heard a truck. How do they look? They're nice. They'll be perfect with the cabinets and countertops. We're putting in the flooring tomorrow. Cabinets should arrive on schedule. It's all coming together. You guys have done a great job. I couldn't be more pleased. Riker, really. Glad you're happy. Just wait until the kitchen is complete. You'll want to thank me in more ways than one. Oh? He grinned wickedly at her. In your dreams, Mr. James. I think that's exactly what's going on. Since she seemed upbeat, Riker decided not to broach the subject of Kilpatrick and what he'd been doing here. Instead, he chose to focus on the evening ahead. Do you have dinner plans? I was thinking cereal and milk since I don't have a working stove. I've had cereal before. For dinner. It's great. Where am I? I am late to the party. It's not fair. Riker wrinkled his nose. Cereal is for little kids. It is not, Bree retorted. I eat cereal all the time. Let me rephrase that. He thought for a moment. Cereal is for little boys and girls. Oh, Redthorn, well done. Breakfast for dinner in general is great. I would 100% agree. In fact, I don't know why, but like a good sit down warm breakfast, that's usually when I enjoy it the most. At dinner time, not in the morning. So yeah, 90 seconds on the clock. Now there is, because I hit play. He stood up, reached for her hand, and pulled her out of the chair. And you, little girl, need more than cereal for dinner. You're calling me a little girl? Bree asked in disbelief. I saw you down a yoo-hoo the other day. Chocolate milk is good for muscles. Riker flexed his arms. Bree reached up and poked at his firm bicep. Now I see why you drink it. If you drank one daily, your muscles would get bigger, little boy. Oh, she's funny. She funny. Damn if she wasn't cute. It was all he could do to not reach out and pull her into him. He wanted to feel those lips on his and run his hands over her slender body. Do you know what my favorite game on the playground was? He took a step toward her. Bree asked coyly, No, what? Boys chase girls? And do you know what we would do if we caught the girls? I'm afraid to ask. He sent her a look that had her blushing. We tackled them to the ground and kissed them breathless. In our version of the game, it will be kisses and dinner. Want to play? Hold up. There's another angle to that game. We sometimes played girls chase boys. I like that version too. You didn't ask what we did when we caught the boys. Tell me, he said, taking a step toward her. Bree stared him down, hands on her hips. We punched them. He laughed. Figures. Only you, champ. Well, since you've already punched me once and hit me with a door another time, I think we should play my version. Almost daring her, he took another step as she stepped back. And being that I'm a fair man and not a little boy, I'll even give you a head start. How about I count to 3? Once I reach 3, all bets are off. 1. I'm not a little girl, Riker. I'm well aware of that, Bree. You can't bully me into playing your silly little game. He cocked an eyebrow and smiled wickedly. dimples etched deeply into his face. "Watch me." 2. She could see he was serious and weighed her options. "You better run, Bree. You're gonna lose your head." Nope, just kidding. That would have been a very different sentence if there were a period right there. "You're gonna lose your head start. Unless you want me to catch you." 2.5. She ran. He shouted, 3, ready or not. Riker couldn't help but grin as he watched her bolt toward the house. "Shit," he cursed, realizing she was fast. Faster than he thought she would be. He took off sprinting after her. He should have known better. With a body like that, of course she could run. He gained on her, but not quite enough. She was going to reach the house before he got her. She made a mistake and looked behind her, which slowed her down just a little. He reached for her just as she pulled the slider open. He missed, and she slipped in, yanking the door shut. She shrieked in delight when she realized she had escaped by mere inches and flipped the lock. "In your face, Riker James. Cereal it is. Now," she hissed. "You stop this instant." She yelled at him breathlessly through the glass door. "Never," he said defiantly. He smiled wickedly, drawing in a deep, badly needed gulp of air. Who knew she was this much of a tease? "Well, the game is over. I won, you lost." "It's not over yet, Bree. There are other ways into your house." Why do I feel like that's a clue? Might be. She narrowed her eyes at him. "You're kidding. You're seriously going to make me run around and lock you out of this entire house?" "You bet your pretty little ass I am. It's not over." Riker grinned and took off. Bree shrieked and darted through the kitchen towards the front door, jumping over tools. Riker only went as far as he needed to be out of sight, then doubled back and pulled his keys out of his front pocket. Clever guy. He slinked back to the slider, used a thin edge of his key to twist the latch, slid it open, and walked into the kitchen. He saw her standing at the front door, peering out. He laughed. "Guess I win." She jumped and spun. With a smirk, she said, "It's not over until it's over, Riker." She flipped the lock, flung the door open, and bolted. This time, he was closer and knew what he was dealing with. He wasn't about to let her get away. A smile spread across his face as he ran. He was gaining. He reached out and grabbed her arm. He wasn't prepared for her sudden stop, and they both hit the ground. Limbs tangled and breathless, he pinned her down in the long grass. Her chest heaved, and he could feel her heart hammer against his. Oh, looks like it's the race of the dudes. Good luck, Redthorn. You're gonna need it. I'm a cheat. Just kidding. You lose, he said, dragging in a ragged breath of his own. Now for my prize. He skimmed his lips over hers and nipped at her bottom lip, having the satisfaction of a little sigh escaping her. He dove in and took her mouth hostage. He went down fast, tasting, teasing, tempting. She matched him kiss for kiss, their passion igniting like wildfire, until they were both gasping, desperate for air. He didn't want to stop. Every fiber of his being screamed to keep going. but he knew he had to. It wasn't just about catching his breath, but saving himself, his heart teetering on the edge. He pulled back because he had no choice. If he didn't, they might suffocate one another. Holy crap, that was high. I guess we're a couple of Grand Prix. We are a couple of Grand Prixes, aren't we? You're a Grand Prix, I'm a Grand Prix. Together, we're doubly grand. Man, I don't know what I did to my elbow, but lifting up the mug hurts like hell. I don't know if it's like tennis elbow or whatever the hell that's called. I got yeeted. I'm not even in the race anymore. I am no longer a Grand Prix. Only you are. All you have to do is not die. That's right. Riker rolled off her, delirious from lack of oxygen and pure intoxication, she admitted. Flopping back on the grass, he stared up into the blue sky as the air slowly returned to him. He propped himself on an elbow and looked down at her pretty face. Looks like I won that round. Want to play again? She smiled, a heart-stopping smile. I let you win. I didn't want to eat cereal. He ran his thumb over her warm, soft lips and leaned down, skimming them with his. She put her hand on his chest and gently pushed him back. You need to stop. I can't think straight when you kiss me. Really? He asked, intrigued. Is it just when I kiss your lips? Or does it happen when I kiss other places too? He bent down and kissed her forehead and cocked an eyebrow at her. How was that? She shrugged a shoulder, apparently unfazed. I can do better. How about here? And I totally forgot to keep an eye on the ads. About 10-ish minutes. Okay. He ran a trail of kisses down her cheek and nuzzled into her neck, his hands skimming over her bare flesh. Riker, you need to stop. I can't think. Do you need to? With you? Yes. Why? Why think? Just enjoy the moment. Be in this moment, Bree. Be with me. He kissed her again. First her lips, the small of her neck, and then the hollow of her collarbone. She gently pushed him back. I can't. I won't. Stop, Riker, please. She shifted. She tried to free herself, but couldn't. Let me up, please. He looked wounded. Why? Did I do something wrong? No. Yes. I don't know. Just let me up, she begged. He let her go. Confused, he stood. Give me your hand. I'll help you up. She hesitated, then placed her hand in his, and he pulled her up. He let go and headed for the house as soon as she was on her feet. Bree raced up to catch. Wow, I completely butchered that sentence. Bree raced to catch up. Helps if I click next map. What was that? Curvy what? Curvy curling excursion? Who names these things? Riker, wait. She pulled on his arm. I'm sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. It's me, not you." He turned to her. Gone was the hurt. It was replaced by anger. It rolled below his surface like an undercurrent, unseen but needing to be feared. "I hope you would know by now that I never do anything to hurt you. But by the look on your face a moment ago, I guess you don't." He shook her off, slipping from her grasp, and went straight to the truck. He climbed in and drove off without looking back, leaving her alone. And that concludes chapter 33. Interesting. Did they forget that stalker guy is able to see them? Like, pretty much all the time. He's probably taken photos of them rolling around in the grass together. And now she's heard his feelings. Which, we didn't know if he had any at first, but it seems like he's got it all figured out now. The dude has fallen, and he has fallen hard. Kasplat. Sorry, coworker just sent me a message. Need a quick reply. Okay. But yeah, she's still on the edge. It's funny though, because all of this could be avoided had they just actually had a conversation with each other and talked about it. Right? I don't know if I'm looking for a relationship right now. I'm just kind of trying to find myself. And he's like, "Well, I was a playboy, but I'm kind of liking the idea of settling down." "Oh my God, really? Yeah. Can I settle down with you?" "Well, I wasn't going to, but God damn it, you're so hot." "Sure." See? Nailed it. And now, chapter 34. Starting on page 277. He glided through the darkness where the moon hung as a thin sliver barely piercing the black night. The reeds whispered, keeping his secret as he crept along the edge, his form merging with the shadows that twisted and writhed in the bay breeze. He slithered into the open grass, each step a low, deliberate movement as if the earth might betray him. He summoned the dark force within, a primal instinct that turned his blood cold as his movements unnervingly silent. The house loomed ahead, and he pressed on, a phantom in the night. He dug deep and channeled his inner warrior. What is this guy about to do? He's stalking around. Why does he needs his inner ninja? He needs his ninja, not his warrior. Just saying. He was Prince Cage Zion. He moved like him. He thought like him. He advanced toward his enemy, Bree Thompson. This guy is not quite right in the head. As a warrior, he recalled the 3 sacred teachings that defined his path, clinging to them now with every ounce of his being. Courage was the first teaching, the will to make it happen. And he had the will and the way. Bree Thompson would pay for what she had done. She turned his own father against him, and for that, he would show no mercy. Loyalty was the second. His father, what did he know of loyalty? He thought with disgust. He spat on the ground. He let a sad, attractive girl turn his head and make him give away everything. If his father had remained loyal to him, to his own flesh and blood, he wouldn't have had to resort to this to get what was rightfully his. He slithered along the outskirts of the house. Embracing number 3, fearfulness. Fearfulness meant having no limits on oneself. He was fearless. He felt the power within him shift as he came around the corner. He knew the police officer was patrolling the areas in the cruiser. They had been for some time now. All it would take was for one motion sensor to trigger, and the whole yard would be flooded with light, and the cop would come running with a gun in hand. He almost wanted it to happen. Wait, is the stalker saying he wanted it to happen, or is he saying that the cop wanted it to happen because of the gun in hand, like he's trigger happy or something? I'm assuming it's the stalker because he's a bit nuts. Feels like he can kind of probably take on the world. He felt a surge of power as if he could crush a single cop without a second. See, I just literally answered my own question. It was in the next sentence. Sometimes you gotta just keep reading to get the answer. He could crush a single cop without a second thought. But the urge was quickly squelched. He had a mission, one that demanded focus. He needed to stick to the plan. And the plan was to strike fear into Bree Thompson, teach her a lesson she would never forget. I think you already accomplished that one, dude. She's scared. When he reached the garage, he felt for the faux stone that held the hidden key. A delicious spike of evil shot through him as his glove's hand closed around it. Inserting the key, he turned the lock. The door creaked open. He slipped into the shadowed garage, moving like a warrior, every step eerily silent. The glass breezeway offered no resistance, his presence as elusive as a sigh in the night. He drifted through the house, the silence thickening around him. He reached the stairs, a phantom with a dark purpose. Before ascending, he glanced out the window and watched the cruiser drive away. The cop had no clue he was there. And now he was gone. Bree was utterly alone in the big, empty house. He could do whatever he wanted. And we're going to pause right there because there is an ad about to start. So we'll let the ad go, and then we'll keep reading. Hypnotizing what? Hyper hideout. Interesting. I wonder if I should change my category to Marbles on Stream. Or should I keep it as writing and reading? I haven't really thought about that until just now. I mean, it's kind of 50-50, isn't it? We're doing a bit of both. Has the ad started? What is taking so long? I would have... Oh, there it is. All right, never mind. Speak it, and it shall be. Okay, now we'll be back in 2 minutes. I thought it had already gone. Man, Discord is popping off tonight. Just like that. All the notifications. Sheesh. Right. Oh, looks like Red and I are going head to head again. You've won like the last 3 of them. Pretty sure. One minute on the clock. It's a shame you can't do 2 categories. You know? If I could do 2 categories, I would say Marbles on Stream and writing and reading. But the fact that you have to pick one or the other? Oh, Red got yeeted. I just need to make sure I don't get yeeted. I mean, the reading is the main attraction. Marbles is more of a side activity. This is true. This is true. All right. Ad is done. Great. We shall continue with our story. I should have ran them when I finished the chapter before. That was my fault. My apologies. But we haven't continued at all, so. Of course, I've lost my frickin' place. Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. I'm fine. Everything's okay. He could do whatever he wanted. Now for the stairs and Bree. The stairs were a dangerous obstacle. He knew they could betray him with a single misstep. He moved with the precision of a predator, swift and light. Reaching the top, a wicked smile slithered into place. Her door stood wide open, inviting him in. Even from this distance, he could see her lying there, the soft rise and fall of her chest, completely unaware. His heart pounded at the thrill of being in her home, in her space, undetected. Adrenaline coursed through him like nicotine from a heavy drag on a cigarette. The excitement bubbled inside him and made him bold. He stood straight up and walked directly toward her room, not trying to hide anymore. He loomed over her, staring down at her sleeping form with contempt. Despite his seething hatred, he couldn't deny that she was pretty, which only fueled his loathing for her. He could kill her now with his bare hands. He felt the power coursing through him. She wouldn't even know what hit her. She could slip from this world in mere seconds, and the balance would be restored. His power, his money, and his life. No more slinking from one job to the next. No more groveling or kissing ass. He would be free to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He would hold his world in his own hands. He sneered as he now held hers. But if he killed her now, then his whole plan would be for naught, and a quick death was too good for her. No, he'd wait a few more days. He had plotted for weeks. He hated to succumb to the temptation now and cheat himself out of his full glory. He had to be patient, diligent just a little longer. He would stalk her these last few days and terrify the living shit out of her. And then he would take her, torture her, and kill her. Ultimately, she'd been begging for him to end it for her. And he would, in the shadow of the black moon, just like he had planned. He watched her as she slept, seething with the thought of her dreaming peacefully. He hoped she was tormented in sleep just as his father had been. He wanted her to suffer like his father had lost the last few months after the accident, losing himself to despair and depression. He knelt and made himself eye level with her, then slipped the item from his pocket and placed it precisely in the middle of the nightstand facing her. That's when he saw it. The scissors glinted in the frail light. He narrowed his eyes. Why shouldn't he take something from her if he was leaving something? Oh, I guess it's just me. His hands were sweaty inside the gloves and shook slightly. Regardless, he picked up the scissors. Without hesitation, he reached across her pillow and snagged the end of her ponytail. He held the scissors just below the band as she stirred. Adrenaline coursed through him as he hacked off a chunk of hair. He felt giddy as he looked down at the soft, golden brown locks loose in his hands. Running it between his fingers, he brought it to his nose and pulled in her sweet scent. The sight of her and the smell stirred something deliciously evil in him. He imagined crawling into her bed and taking what he wanted. The thought was tempting, almost irresistible. It took all his will to resist. He watched her for a minute longer, anticipating her reaction in the morning. The shock of her pretty face when she realized he had taken her hair. That thought alone satisfied him. It would have to, for now. With one last look at her, he slipped out of the room, descending the stairs boldly, whistling as he clutched her hair. And there's a break in the story. Is my marble stuck? Well, that's pretty damn awkward. Yes. That didn't really work out. What is this? Bloop? Does anyone know what bloop is? Because I don't. Oh, it's like a... Actually, I don't know what it is. Exclamation point bloop? Oh, I see. Interesting. Wait, where did my ball go? Maybe my ball already left. Dang, Gemma, 94. Purple, real close behind. Interesting. All right. Bloop at your heart's content. Yes, bloop away. I'll take another sip, and then we'll keep going. Bloopity bloop bloop. The sun was sinking and the ribbon of highway rolled on forever as Bree strolled down the middle. She watched a flock of birds shift and swoop over the wheat fields that lined the road. Bree could hear a semi approaching and glanced over her shoulder. She'd started to jog to get out of the way. Her heart beating faster, she started to run as the tractor-trailer bore down on her. Suddenly, in front of her, she saw a minivan parked on the side of the road. Her sister stuck her head out the window and waved, calling, "Come on, Bree. We've been waiting for you." "Fantastic," she shouted. "Get out of the van!" Did I really just say fantastic? Good God. Frantic. How'd I mess those two up? Frantic. Geez, Gemma. Maybe I need to bloop again. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Donna! Words are hard. Words are always hard. That's okay. I'll get there. Donna, great to see you. Hope you're well. I'm assuming this is a dream right now that she's having. Hello. How you doing? Good, thank you. I tried out a game earlier. SnowRunner. Probably going to return that, though. Wasn't really my kind of thing. It looked good, but meh. And then we started reading. So, all in all, good time. Pleasure to see you. We're blooping. We're puzzling. No idea what the time the game will close in after clicking close game. Oh. Yeah, I'm doing this wrong. I've seen that game. You either love it or hate it. I didn't know what it was, so I thought I'd check it out. Yeah, don't really know what's going on here. I've been in the puzzle for a few now, but didn't say hello until now. Okay, no worries. Sorry, Gemma. I was just trying that out. We're gonna check something else. Oh, we could do a Royale. I've seen that before. This is where we battle, I think. Yeah, pretty sure. Battle it out. Exclamation point, play to play. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the puzzle. It's a fun one. It's really out of this world. Frantic, she shouted, "Get out of the van!" What? I can't hear you. What did you say? Get out of the van! She ran as fast as her legs would carry her, but the minivan didn't get any closer. Unlike the tractor-trailer, which grew closer and louder. It loomed large and daunting. The driver repeatedly blew his horn, wailing relentlessly. She reached the side of the road just as the semi roared by. She could feel the engine's heat, smell the diesel fumes, and hear the tires squeal as the driver locked the brakes. Kay, I hope you have a good night. Take care of yourself. Thank you for being here. All Bree could do was stand and watch as the semi fish-tailed and skidded. She screamed when it exploded and fell backward down a long, dark tunnel, head over heels into the abyss. In the darkness, faces flashed by her. Her mom, her dad, and her sister. watching Johnny. She reached out to them, but they tumbled past. She cried out, struggling, reaching. Somewhere in the recesses of her mind, she heard whistling. She woke with a start, her heart racing and the Black Shadow theme song ringing in her ears. She groped for the lamp and switched on the light. She rubbed her eyes, trying to adjust to the light. She turned, then blinked and shrank back as she saw a torn photo taped together of her face. She gasped, clutching at the covers in terror. How in the world? How did that get there? Panic clawed at her mind as she struggled to make sense of it. She reorganized the pieces, the corners she'd found in the bathroom drawer, the kitchen, and the one Sam had discovered in the basement. It clicked now. He'd been leaving them for her to find, a twisted game to rattle her. But the chilling truth was undeniable. It hadn't been there when she went to bed. Did you... Johnny? You killed me. Your ball killed my ball. I see how it is. I see how it is. He was in the house. She reached out, careful not to touch the photo, and turned the light off. She grabbed her cell phone and bolted to the bathroom. Flinging herself against the door, she locked it. Why is it always the bathroom? Then turned on the lights and dialed 911. She stared at her pale reflection in the mirror as the phone connected.
911, what's your emergency?
This is Bree Thompson. I live at 10 Cypress Lane. Someone's broken into my house. I need the police. I need Detective Savard. Because most of the rooms don't have locks on the door, that's my guess. Yeah, it is an accurate guess. Wait, how did I win? I thought I was killed. That's confusing. Oh, I didn't kill Johnny. Or Johnny didn't kill me, I killed Johnny. Really? Huh. Interesting. Cries. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Apparently, in that moment, my balls were bigger than yours. That's all. Or pointier. I'm not sure.
I'm dispatching them now. Are you hurt?
Bree started to shake her head, but then she shrieked when she saw it. He cut off my hair. I just laughed so loud I scared my wife. I'm here to help. That's the end of chapter 34. She woke up to his whistling. If your balls are pointy, you should probably see a doctor. I would absolutely agree with that statement. I might even get in the news. You know, I could probably get 15 minutes of fame with this. I could start my own Bitcoin. Yeah. PB, pointy balls. Could milk it, absolutely. Just drain it for all it's worth. Bet there'd be an OF market for it. Oh, guaranteed. In fact, I need to go see if I can have an operation. I gotta see if I can have surgery for this. This would be great. Oh, I see now. It shows who you're going for, not who killed. Okay. So you were trying to kill me, but you didn't. I got it now. I got it. Wait, did I just get yeeted? I did. I got swallowed up by the map. Wow. That sucks. Moneymaker balls, right? That was a very quick fight. Jeepers. Let's try that again. I'll start up another one, and then we're going to get right into chapter 35. Join. Start. Well, it was kind of a one-on-one, so technically you were both hunting. Technically. Chapter 35 starts us off on page 283 of our printed copy. If you have not had a chance to check out our author and her books, please do. !moon in chat will get you a link so that you can see her work. Worth looking. I'm telling you right now. Chapter 35. Linda parked her car and got out. She stood looking up at the pristine white house with its gray clapboard siding and stone foundation, while a couple of men from Bolts and Beams unloaded cabinets off a truck. We don't know who Linda is yet, do we? Because it would have been Simon Riker if she knew who it was, but she just said a couple guys, so, Wait, isn't Linda from the realty company? Right? Yeah. Interesting. Anyway. Yes. Okay. Oh, it's a top 4 kind of thing. I'm going to follow my ball this time. It's not pointy, it's just purple. Riker came out of the house and crossed over to her. "What do you think?" he asked, standing beside her and looking at the house. "It's exquisite, Riker. You've outdone yourself once again. It looks brand new, but still possesses all its original character. I've always loved this house. Its peaks and angles, the unique charm with the Widow's Walk, the vast porch and pillars, not to mention the view. Good God, that was so fast. Why was that so fast? All right, let's go back to racing, shall we? Grand Prix. Laps. Autofill. Play. And we're not going to do 15 laps like last time, because that was just ridiculous. This is not a... Why does it... Is it me? It's me. Hi. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make it so that it just does laps. Laps. Races. Oh, I didn't... It's me. It's definitely me. God damn it. I'm such an idiot. Play. This isn't a... Whatever. I got nothing. Okay. Putting kids to sleep. Enjoy. She looked at the man beside her and saw his strong profile, his ruggedly handsome features. Beneath that occasional rough demeanor, he had a heart of gold. I'm sorry you didn't get the house. I truly am. He shrugged, stuck his hands in his pockets. I might not own it, but I got to help restore it. You made sure of that. And that's something. For that, I'm grateful. I'll always be able to look at it from here or across the water and know that I had a hand in that. He turned and smiled at her. It's a source of pride. That's enough for me. She patted him on the arm. I'm glad. What brings you out here this early? Bree's taking her photograph. I want a team picture and individual pictures for the office and our website. It's been a while since we've updated. I thought I'd come a little early and get mine taken before everyone gets here. And they're off. I'd better let you get to it then. Is Bree in the studio? She saw him stiffen. I don't know. Haven't seen her, but that'd be my guess. You're not still mad at her for buying this house, are you? If anything, you should be mad at me. He half laughed. No, I've forgiven her for that. As much as I hate to admit it, this house suits her. To top it off, she made good choices. Great selections in the materials and finishes. If she'd chosen poorly, I'd have been all over it and would have given me great satisfaction to argue with her about it. But I can't. Then, what is it? A frown creased his forehead between his eyebrows and slightly drew the dimples out in his cheeks. I can't forgive her for taking my heart and literally stomping on it. He sighed. You best go in. I'm sure she's waiting. Check the studio. Before she could say anything, he walked away. She watched him go. She'd never seen him like that before. Riker wasn't someone to give his heart easily. He was a love him and leave him kind of guy. Apparently, for the first time, the tables were turned. Linda knocked on the carriage house door, then opened it slightly. Hello, Bree? It's Linda. Can I come in? Oh, I won. Look at that. What are the odds? Okay, we all know what the odds are. Whoa, what is this? Interesting. Bree stuck her head out of the door from the top floor. Linda, come up, please. You're early. I know. I'm sorry, but I wanted to get here before everyone else and get my picture taken first. Hope that's all right, Linda said, climbing the stairs. Of course, I was setting up before everyone got here. Please come in. Fire Beeve. What up? Why, my dear, it looks like you're ready. This place looks wonderful. And I smell coffee. Can I have a cup? Of course. Do you take it black or with cream and sugar? Linda set her purse down on the long wooden table. Black is fine. I like a good, strong cup. I do love this space, Bree, she said, taking a long, slow turn in the middle of the studio. Thank you. Bree brought over the steaming mug as Linda turned to look at her. Her hair was pulled back in a small bun, and her face was void of makeup. Dark circles were under her eyes, and it looked like she might have been crying. Oh dear, are you not well? You look tired. Bree half smiled. I'm fine, just exhausted. I had a rough night. Linda took the mug and noticed Bree's hand tremble slightly. Sit down a minute, tell me about it. She led her over to the reception area, and they sat. I couldn't. You came for a picture, not an earful. Nonsense. I have all the time in the world. That's at least one of the perks of being your own boss. Now tell me. I don't know where to start. Does this have anything to do with a certain handsome man outside? Bree laughed. I wish that's all this was, but it's not. It's way more. You don't want or need to hear all this. Please, hun, Linda said gently, patting Bree on the hand. I want to help. In other words, she wants all the gossip. Or she just might want to help. It's hard to say. Before Bree knew it, she started to tell Linda. She gave her the whole story from when she'd moved in until last night. She gave Linda a weak smile. I guess you weren't expecting all that, were you? I most certainly wasn't. My dear, you've been through quite an ordeal. I can't believe you're still in this house. I would be terrified to stay here at night alone. I think I would be looking for somewhere else to stay until the police figure this whole thing out. But that's the thing. I love this house, this place. I want to stay. I have to see it through. You're quite right. This is yours. You can't let some maniac chase you off. But you have to be careful. You're risking your life staying here. Bree, I beg of you to go to a hotel for a few days until Detective Savard can solve this. Thank you for the lurk, gaming. Mr. Thump, appreciate you. Hello? A voice drifted up the stairs. That will be the others. We didn't get your picture taken first after all. Bree stood. We're up here. Come on up, she called. Bree turned back to the older woman. Please don't say anything. Not a lot of people know. I want to keep it that way. Of course, hon. Linda turned her attention to the door as her employees walked in. And that concludes chapter 35. I am starting to get this weird questioning of, like, how many people actually know what's really going on? And are they just playing, like, dumb to make it, you know, make the charade keep going? Like, is everybody in on it? I don't know. We're going to change the clock to 60 seconds. That's a minute, by the way, just in case you weren't sure. It's like I excluded all of the lap races instead of this one, even though I told it to do lap races. Or at least I thought I did. I wanted lap races because it will just automatically follow. And I don't have to, like, push a button to make it do it. Well, okay, technically I still push a button, but I don't have to, like, wait until the race has started and then push a button. I can just tap something immediately and it will just do the rest. It's weird. I don't get it. All right, we're following Gemma. Good luck to you all. Oh, let me pull up Thump over here. Drop him a lurk. He's streaming right now as well. There we go. Got him. All right. How's everybody doing? Doing all right? Great. Chapter 36, page 287. Colette looked over at Bree as she drove. They bumped along down the lane. I think that style suits you. It's very professional looking. You think so? Bree asked, pulling down the visor, again checking her new haircut in the mirror. The stylist had evened out the jagged ends of her hair, cutting off at least another inch, so now her hair didn't even brush her shoulders. Her hair was the shortest it had ever been since her freshman year in high school. She had pulled it into a tight bun this morning for the photo shoot, barely able to sweep it up. Examining herself again, she decided it looked nice. It'll take some getting used to. Colette reached over and patted her arm. It looks fabulous, and in a couple of weeks it'll start to grow back, but in the meantime, enjoy the new look. Tears shimmered at the edges of her vision. I guess I was due for a new style. I just wish I hadn't been forced to get it this way. The main thing is that you're all right. Makes my skin crawl to think that he was that close to you, hovering over you while you slept. Colette shivered. Wait, now Colette knows? Did Colette always know? I don't remember. Anyway, it gives me the creeps. He could have done a lot worse, Bree. You're fortunate nothing else happened. I know. I can imagine how he's been slipping by. The only thing I can think of is he's coming up from the water. It's the only way. And I had a hide key out. He had to have found it. There's no trace of forced entry. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Johnny. Look at this. Johnny's winning the race. Eh? Eh? How about that? How about that? Your balls finally held up. Congratulations, Johnny. Let's see how they do in this one, eh? 60 seconds on the clock. Get in there. I think you should spend the night at my house tonight. You shouldn't be here alone. Thank you, but I don't want to leave the house empty. And I'm afraid if I don't stay, I might make myself scared enough that I won't be able to stay here by myself ever again. Bree said as Colette pulled up in front of the house and shut the car off. Then I'll stay here with you. Would you? She leaned over and hugged her. I would be grateful. We can have a good old-fashioned slumber party. It'll be fun. Pajamas. Just kidding. I have to warn you, I don't have a couch or anything. And the only TV I have right now is in my bedroom. So? It's gorgeous out. We'll have a fire on your patio, sit and talk until we're ready for bed. Colette glanced over Bree's shoulder at the two men by the truck. And maybe if we're lucky, we can have company. Before Bree could say anything, Colette jumped out of the car waving. Hey, Sam, she called. Hi, Riker, how's it going? She crossed over to them. Hey, Colette, Sam said, turning in her direction. Bree let out a sigh as she grabbed her purse and got out of the car. She didn't want to see Riker, let alone talk to him, especially when she wasn't feeling her best. She was still shaky from last night's shock and was still getting used to her haircut. What are you ladies up to? Sam asked. Colette batted her eyelashes at him. Oh, just had a late lunch, did a little shopping. The usual. Keeping her head down, Bree tried to buzz past. Is 6 good, Colette? She asked, trying not to stop. You bet, I'll be here. We're going to sit out back and light a fire. Are you guys busy? Maybe you want to join us. Bree was almost past them when Riker stepped into her path. What's with the hair, champ? Get it cut? Yes. Looks good. It's classy, sophisticated. Glad it meets your approval. Please excuse me. Are you inviting us over tonight, or is Colette? She looked at him and met those deep pools of blue. We both are, I guess. If you have nothing better to do, come. I can order some takeout or grill burgers on the new grill my aunt sent with my other things. It's going to be a nice evening. She shrugged. Up to you. I think we can manage it. He reached out and delicately touched the tips of her hair, running his fingers through it. She sidestepped him. I have some things to get done. See everyone in a little bit. Thanks again, Colette. With that, she disappeared inside. Colette slugged Riker in the arm. Ow! What was that for? Because you're a jackass, that's what. You just had to mention her hair, didn't you? Why? I thought women liked that. It's always worked for me before. What's the big deal? It's new, and I noticed. I should get points for that, not punched. Seriously, Colette, he didn't say anything wrong, Sam said. I guess you guys don't know. She glanced from one to the other. Know what? Riker asked, moving closer, obviously concerned. That guy, Cage, that's been stalking Bree, he broke in again last night. We heard, Linda told us, Sam said. She's pretty shaken up, huh? Colette shook her head. She's handling it pretty well, considering. Considering what? Damn it, Colette, spill it, Riker demanded. Considering he cut off half her hair. What the fuck? You're kidding, aren't you? Riker said in disbelief. His blood ran cold. I wish I were. Linda didn't tell us that. Honestly, she probably didn't know unless Bree flat out told her. Colette looked at Riker. Anyway, she called me and asked me to recommend a stylist. I picked her up and took her to mine. Oh, you should have seen it when she took it out of the little bun she had it in. Colette tisked. Colette tisked. Next map. Here we go. Get ready. 60 seconds on the clock. It was all hacked off and uneven. Gloria had to take another inch to even it up. Bree was practically in tears. It gives me the creeps to think of him standing over her holding scissors. Colette shivered despite the warm sun. Every inch of Riker's being vibrated with disgust and terror. He wanted to punch something. The bastard was terrifying Bree. Bree. He wanted to run into the house and grab her and hold on tight and never let her go. He could kick himself for leaving her last night, especially in the way he had. If anything had happened to her, he'd never have forgiven himself. Colette reached out to Riker. Are you okay? Yes. No. The hell if I know. Wow. He's got it bad, hasn't he? She asked, looking at Sam. Sam grinned and nodded. Yep, but he won't admit it. What the hell are you two talking about? Colette smiled at that. Hey guys, I gotta run. I'm going home to fetch some clothes. I'll be right back. You guys are staying, right? She asked, walking backward to her car. We'll be here, Sam indicated for both of them. They both watched Colette disappear down the drive. Why don't you go in and talk to her? Oops, the race is already going. We're watching Donna. Good luck, Donna. I'm not sure she wants me to. When has... I think there might be a slight typo here, Mel, just so you're aware, at the bottom of page 290. When has a... I'm just going to make up my own just to help the story. When has a woman you've ever wanted stop you before? You make me sound like a jerk. Is that what you think? No. Most of the time, you have your own agenda, and it doesn't usually coincide with the other person's. This time, though, you seem to be considering what Bree wants or needs. He shrugged. I think that's a big step for you. Now I sound like I have an emotional capacity of a rock. Of course, Mel. I wouldn't have mentioned it, but it was enough to make me not sure what the sentence was supposed to be, so I just thought I'd let you know. Believe me, I'm pretty sure I've got some of those in my books too. It's a big pain in the butt. Just go. See how she is. Yeah, I guess. He stuffed his hands in his pockets and walked toward the house. He found her with her head buried in the refrigerator. She jumped when she heard him come in. She couldn't help it. Her nerves were shot. I decided on hamburgers. Hope that's okay? When he didn't answer, she straightened and pulled out everything she needed. Ketchup, mustard, lettuce, tomato, mayo, and pickles. She ticked off things on her mental list, then put it in the basket. Cheese, beef patties, and buns, she said out loud. Do you need help? He inquired, coming up behind her. She tried to keep her voice from quivering. Sure. Can you take the basket? I need to grab the rolls and potato chips. I won again. She shut the fridge and turned to hand it to him. He took it from her. His deep blue eyes met hers and locked. She backed up, away from him. Man, she is really frazzled by this guy. I can tell by the way you're looking at me, Colette told you. I don't need your pity. I'm not giving you pity. I'm concerned. There's a difference. He put the basket on the ground and walked toward her. You look like you could use a friend and a hug. She held his gaze, but put her hand up to stop his advance. Riker, please don't. Why not? Because... She hesitated. I'm afraid if you touch me, I'm going to... To what? He asked patiently. Rip my clothes off and take me right here in the garage? That got half of a smile out of her. His face creased heavily into a broad grin, revealing his deep-set dimples. I can see you're considering it. He glanced around. That table could work. She laughed. Whatever. That's not what I had in mind, and you know it. A guy can dream, can't he? He didn't wait for an answer. Then what? If I touch you, what? What are you gonna do? Shatter into a million pieces? Barely holding it together. I can't handle your pity or your concern. She blinked back tears. Or your touch. Then I guess we're going to need a broom because I can't be this close to you and keep my hands off you when you're hurting. Without warning, he stepped in and encircled her in his arms. She melted into him and shook. They stood in the middle of the garage, clinging to each other while she trembled. I'm sorry this is happening to you. He stroked her back. If I could change it, I would. He kissed her forehead gently. I know. He made the following comment so matter-of-factly she almost didn't realize what he said. I'll kill the bastard if he ever touches you again. She leaned back. Riker, no. It's not going to come to that. You're damn right. I'm not letting you out of my sight until Savard has him behind bars. What are you? My knight in shining armor? She tried to keep it light. She could see anger festering beneath his calm exterior. Something like that. He leaned down and kissed her. This guy, that's his, does he not understand that there's a time and a place? This ain't one of them. When she didn't stop him, he did it again, running his hands through her hair and caressing her face. He smiled. How about that table? She swatted him playfully. Guess you'll never know if I would have. She tipped her head toward the window. Looks like Colette's back, she said, indicating the car. She batted her lashes. Grab the basket, my white knight. We have burgers to cook. He groaned loudly and grabbed the basket. Which was probably something like, I don't know about you guys. That's the end of the chapter, by the way. But I am extremely confused when it comes to Riker. I can't tell if I like the guy or if I despise him and think he's a lowlife. I just can't tell. B12, you're stuck. You are very stuck. And I don't know what to do about that. Looks like the game or the thing's good. Oh, there it goes. Never mind. Game over. Just like in real life for 12, her balls are stuck. Bummer. All right, I know we're only 6 out of 16, but unless this next chapter is 3 pages, oh my god, it literally is. All right, we're going to do the next chapter. That's just hilarious. That is just hilarious. I thought we were going to be done, but the next chapter is super short. Did I call it, or did I call it a what? You know? All right, chapter 37. 3 pages. Page 294. It was late, and all Linda wanted to do was go home and crawl into bed. But she couldn't. Not until she swung by the office and picked up the file for tomorrow. Her first appointment was at 8, and an hour away. She pulled into the lot and parked her car in front of the office. Everything was dark except a couple of streetlights that hummed and cast small pools of yellow over the large parking lot. The night air blew steadily across the open space, giving her a sudden chill. Trash skidded across the blacktop, tumbling, seemingly tugged along by an invisible string. Linda slipped her key into the lock and went in, quickly, going to the alarm system to disarm it. She was surprised to find it already off. I guess whoever was last to leave forgot to set it, she mumbled to herself, but returned to the front door and turned the lock. She flipped on the light above the reception desk. Nervously, she glanced around. Something didn't feel quite right. She tried to tell herself it was simply because she was overly tired and her mind kept replaying her conversation with Bree. The idea that someone was stalking Bree gave her the willies. Nothing seemed out of place, but her heart quickened anyway. Looking over her shoulder, she proceeded down the dimly lit hall to her office. The steady tap of her heels on the tile floor echoed in the silent space. She flipped the switch inside her office and circled around to sit at her desk. Getting to work, she sorted through the files, looking for one she needed. Linda stopped shuffling when she sensed movement in the hall. "Who's there?" she called. There was no answer. "Of course there's no answer, you idiot. You're alone." Disgusted with herself, she went back to the task at hand. She found the folder and stood up, prepared to leave, when she heard it again. Her heart hammered in her chest as she clutched the folder to her. "Just get to the car," she told herself. "It's only your imagination." She walked down the hall quickly, the click of her heels grating her nerves. She went out the front door, locked it, and got into her car. Linda sat in the still car, waiting for her heart to slow down as relief washed over her. Thank goodness no one was around to witness how foolish she was acting. "Oh, damn," she said out loud. "I forgot to set the alarm, and I need to sign for the yard. Guess I'll be going back in." With a deep sigh, she got out, leaving her purse on the front seat, only taking her keys. Linda unlocked the door, scolding herself for being so childish. She hadn't even turned the light off over the front desk or in the hall. She strode down the hall, heels clicking, and stopped at Greg's office. She knew he had the extra signs. Reaching the knob, she found it locked. She fished through her keys, found the master, unlocked his door, and flipped on the light. The signs were piled in the corner beside the bookcase. Still uneasy, she grabbed the top one and spun. In her haste, she knocked a box off the bookshelf. It hit the ground and split open, spilling papers everywhere. "Oh, well done, Johnny. Good job. Way to go. You did it." Kapow! "For goodness sake!" Exasperated, she scooped up the papers, which contained a few photographs. Can this night get any worse? She flipped them over and tried to stack them neatly. A photograph caught her eye. She gasped when she realized what she was looking at. She scrambled through the papers, digging out the other photos. One after the other, all capturing the same person, unaware. Linda's heart dropped. Her hand started to shake as she realized what she had discovered. She had to get out of there. She hastily shoved everything back into the box, placing it on the shelf. She grabbed the sign and bolted for her car. She didn't even bother to lock the front door, her mind scrambling with what to do. Running around the back of her car, she popped the trunk, hefted the sign in, and was about to close it when she felt hands on her. She shrieked and was rewarded with a fist to her back. She dropped her keys and gasped for air. Something was shoved into her mouth. Gagging, she reached for it. Rough hands were in her hair, gripping, yanking. Her head slammed into the trunk of the car. Her world spun. Her knees went slack. She bent forward and felt her arms being yanked behind her and roughly tied, cutting into her flesh. She was shoved forward and fell into the trunk face first, cutting her cheek on the metal sign. Hands grabbed her legs and flung them into the trunk. The lid was slammed shut, pitching her into complete darkness. Ah, man. Stupid ads. Well, I got 30 seconds. Once the ads are officially done, then I will explain what I just read. Sorry about the ads, guys. I was hoping to try and dismiss them all, but why am I explaining? You can't hear me. Well, some of you can, some of you can't. Depends where you live. Gotcha. So the ad started as she was picking up the photos. So, yes. So basically, Linda went into his office to grab the signs, knocked over the box, and as she was going through the photos, realized that there were a lot of pictures of a certain someone unaware that they were having their photo taken, and there were quite a few of them. Linda freaked out. Now, quick segue, it is the assumption that this certain someone is Bree, but we don't know that for sure because it doesn't say Bree. It just says someone. So could be that he's a stalker but not stalking her. Either way, she ran out to her car. She didn't lock up anything. She freaked out. She ran. She went to her trunk to shove the sign in, and at that moment, she felt hands on her. The person punched her in the back. They slammed her head into the car. They zip-tied her hands behind her back and then shoved her into the trunk and closed it. So, essentially, Linda has been kidnapped. Yes, indeed. The plot has become incredibly thick. About as thick as this book, actually. Which you can get your own copy on Amazon, just like I did, by going to !moon. So on Tuesday, we'll start chapter 38 on 297. And that means there's only 11 chapters left. Mr. Thomas, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, sir? It's wonderful to see you. Check out this handsome fella. Doing okay, and you? Doing fantastic, thank you. We are just wrapping up for the night. Got a few chapters in, played a game before that.
I think the game sound is too loud for me to hear. I don't know if y'all can hear it though.
Oh, we can hear it.
I've been okay as well.
He's been okay. So yeah, gonna return that game though. I don't think it's for me. And I don't believe I've quite hit the 2-hour mark yet, so I should be okay. I don't know why that clip exists. Only you hold the power to your own clips, sir. I'm just saying. Of course. Of course. You should delete them all? No. See, right down here, I told it no races, only laps. I don't know why, but it just doesn't put any in. I don't get it. I can't autofill. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's broken. I don't know. Anyway. Thank you for reading. Absolutely, Mel. I'm sad that we're getting close to the end. Kind of sucks. I hate it when we get there. But we also want to know how it ends. So you have fun with it either way. That's good. I used to have clips people made of me complimenting them or being nice to them, and I'm like, hey, I can see these, see? Find someone who does a lot of marbles. They'd be happy to teach you most of the time. Heidi does a lot of marbles. I could probably pick her brain about it. But yeah, either way, I'll figure it out. Just sometimes you gotta play with it a little bit, you know? I know this was the first time at one of these, but this was awesome. Johnny, I am thrilled that you're here. I want to give you one more shout out. I was in Johnny's stream for the first time the other day, and he was just so welcoming. He was like, guys, do you know this man? Hello, have you seen this man? He was just so kind. And I was like, I felt like a celebrity. It was weird. It was super
NDLB
amazing.
is no, oh my God, I almost said no dick left behind. No drumstick left behind. I'm fucking done.
He's done, you know? And in April, he's going to be dressed up in a very, very specific role play. And that's the clip. Oh my God. Laughing my ass off. All right. Keeps you motivated? Yeah. I mean, Johnny, you were super nice to me, and like I didn't expect it. I don't deserve it. I'm just a guy with a voice that tries to act with it. Voice actor. But yeah. Anywho, enough of that lingo. Let's see who we can go raid to. Honestly, you are also amazing, and you're definitely deserving of it. Well, I appreciate your kindness, good sir. Really excited about your cosplay. He's gonna look amazing. Even I might get a little overheated, flush in the face, you know what I mean? You're a guy with a voice that deserves good things. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, that reminds me. Just as a quick reminder, and I'll keep reminding people until you're like sick of me saying it. In April, we're going to start a new thing, which I got the idea from Johnny, actually. I'm going to have 3 books. One book will be for someone that resubs or gifts a single sub. Another book will be for a 5 bomb or more, and then the last book will be for 10 or more. Depending on what might happen, if you do a resub, for example, you'll get to pick a page number from that book. If you get the correct page number, you will win a gift card. Likewise with the other books. Here's the difference, though. If you do a 5 bomb, you get 5 guesses. If you do 10 or more, you get 15 guesses. So, yeah. So we're going to start that in April. For the rest of March, we're just doing the double earnings on the wheel of workouts. So, for example, earlier, Super was super kind, gifted Johnny a sub, and it landed on curls, so that's why it says 10 for curls, because I doubled it. So. And you have a killer Hogwarts sorting hat.
Yes, yes. Quite a lot of spirit in that one. Could be perfect for Slytherin. No? Okay. I know. Gryffindor!
Oh, that reminds me. I've been reading, what are they called? There's new versions of the Harry Potter books which are designed for younger kids, but they're like, what the heck is it? They have really good pictures and they're huge. The book is like massive. But the story is condensed, so it's easier for a kid to read. It's got amazing pictures in it. Anyway, we're on movie number 2, which is where Dobby the house elf shows up in Harry Potter's bedroom. And so, of course, I'm reading to my kid. I'm doing voices, of course, for characters. I wish I had the book in front of me, but it was like, let's see. Harry was like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And then Dobby's like, "Dobby has come to warn Master Harry Potter. You should not come to Hogwarts. You're in grave danger, sir. Dobby only wants to protect Harry Potter." I love doing a Dobby voice. It's fun. Anyway, I am rambling. Who do we have on right now? Who can we go say hello to? Huh? That was good. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dobby has never been asked to sit down before. You know what? There's a special friend of mine that I haven't seen in a long time. She's a VTuber. She's a lovely person. She has a heart of gold. She's always doing charity stuff. So please copy this raid message. We'll be back on Tuesday. More reading, more puzzles, more marbles. And then on Thursday, we'll be back to playing a game. And then reading in Discord. Onyx Storm, to be specific. So please come raid with me. Come show some support. I want to thank you all for hanging out. I love it when you're here. And I'm sad to let you go. But it has to be done. Good thing I'll be back on Tuesday. Until then, as I always like to say, please, 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 take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have an amazing night.